Looping stuff is a common thing that happens. Things like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 drawings of numbers. Yep. Anyway, when you have something that loops, you'll copy and paste it a few times down like that. Now, of course, you don't need to be pasting it individually. That'll take forever. So you can copy the whole thing and then right click and go paste cycle. Punch in a number like 7 or 5 here and go bam, look at that, all the way down, flickering 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all the way across. Now you may or may not know that Toon Boom likes to store things in like a case in a library. So if you look over in the library view here, despite the amount of images currently existing, there still only is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going across this slider, sourcing back to the original point every time these same drawings are used. So of course, if I was to edit one of these, it has now edited every time that image appears. So that's a fairly common thing that's good to work with, but what's kind of difficult to work with is this. This is a mess. Look at all these frames. There's no way of indicating where things are being repeated, what is which. There's just a whole bunch of frames. So on pretty much any kind of loop that you have, how are you going to know where it starts again? Let me show you a bit of a trick. This here. Right click and go to Mark Drawing. It will open up this controller of 6 buttons here. What these are intended for is a series of markers for traditional style animation. You can mark your keyframes, your breakdowns, in-betweens, and retakes of those 3 types. I'm going to show that primary use in another video, but in this video I'm going to show you a secondary use that I find to be very, very useful for times like this. Watch what happens if I press on this first frame here and press the keyframe button. Bam, look at that. Every time the one instance appears, it has put down a little marker, and immediately, just like that, we can see at a glance so easily where this loop begins again. In traditional processes, these different colors here do perform different functions, but for purposes like this, where we're just simply using them as markers of certain bits, they are just colors. It doesn't really matter which one we choose, so we can use any of them. You know, you got purple, yellow, light green, and blue. You can mark all sorts of different stuff to get a very colorful timeline and manage your loops that way. The last one here, this I for in between, because in betweens are very common, they cancel it out. Press that, you'll notice that the color disappears. So you use that to restore things to their default. Marking drawings for loops, isn't that neat? If you're interested in learning more about what these markers can do, stick around. There'll be an upcoming video all about that. Take care.